Hello, and welcome to the Strange Internet Podcast. I am Robert.
And I'm Patrick.
And I'm doing the intro because Pat is incapable of doing so.
That's right. That is right.
Pat, what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about food.
Why?
Food, the internet craze around food, because everything revolves around food. We've got chefs, we've got shows, we've got culture, we got people taking pictures of their food. They're obsessed.
Yeah.
They're obsessed, so we got to hit this one.
I'm super full right now, so definitely care about food.
Yeah.
What'd you have for dinner?
Just some tendies. Some
Some chicken tendies or
That's right.
nuggies? Two different things.
Like popcorn chicken, kind of in the middle.
Oh,
just,
not
air fryer.
all.
Just
Frozen?
That's not fun. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. Gotta keep things quick,
efficient
in these times of almost having a baby.
And guys, we're on a crunch time because it might happen any second.
Yeah. It can come at any moment. So crazy.
Well, I had beef stew. Thanks for asking.
Very nice.
And
frozen?
Kimchi. No, I made it. Oh, I made it. I'm a chef now.
You're a chef. See,
it was delicious. What'd you have for lunch?
I don't really remember, to be honest.
That's how exciting it was.
Yeah, no, I kind of had like breakfast for lunch.
You're like popcorn chicken.
Yeah. I just have it like every meal. That's just
I mean, we know some people like that.
Yeah. Crazy. All right, so let's get into some stuff, right? Let's start the show off. So, celebrity chef right off the top. Who's your favorite?
Gordon
Ramsay.
I mean, celebrity chefs, like,
he's the king.
Are there that many? Like, yeah, I know. I don't know. Are celebrity chefs like that famous anymore? Because there was definitely a time,
but
there was definitely like a time like early 2000s, mid 2000s. Because I remember growing up, I was watching Food Network all the time, and I was like, I love Bobby Flay. And then what was the Greek lady's name? Or you have no idea?
I didn't have cable when I was growing up.
And then there's Barefoot Contessa. This is very gay culture, so maybe not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Food Network
didn't even have cable.
Kind of turned into that. Okay.
But then like there's a lot of new chefs on shows that it's more based around travel, and I think like after like Anthony Bourdain and that kind of group that were doing the travel / eating / chefs kind of thing. Now there's a lot of people that have filled that void, was starting off doing shows where they go somewhere and then they cook the kind of local food and see if they do better than the local people that can cook that. So that's kind of cool.
Wait, speaking of
the king.
Oh, Gordon is king. I would love to have Gordon on an episode.
Yeah, I mean
that'll never happen.
Right. That'll be our peak existence.
Let's manifest that for season 57, where we have Gordon as the guest. But he's like a call-in guest. He's like 5 minutes. He's like whatever because we're that famous.
Right.
They were like, oh, hey, Gordon, remember when you were famous 25 years ago? Yeah. We have someone a lot more important right now. We have Rihanna's baby on right now. Speaking of Rihanna's baby, speaking of traveling chefs, I guess. Have you ever seen the show Chef's Table?
Maybe
Netflix show. Honest, super good. But you know what's better than that? Just because I love competition.
Yeah.
The Final Table.
Okay.
I think they're both Netflix shows. The Chef's Table is like they go to I want to say they're all Michelin star chefs. I don't know, but they go to like chefs' restaurants and they like film it, and then they also like get into their like personal life. So it's like documentary style. Every episode's like a different chef. I think I have not watched it in a long time, and I didn't really deep dive into Chef's Table. But Final Table, it's like, it's like if you took Project Runway, and turned it into a cooking competition. So like every week one person goes home.
Okay.
And then and the kicker is that almost everybody on the show competing for the win, which I don't even know if there was like money involved. I think it was just like the title. And they only had one season as far as I understand.
Gotcha.
The kicker is that all of these chefs that are competing are Michelin star, with like one exception. And so it's like the creme de la creme. So it's not like, young chefs trying to like win $100,000 to start their own restaurant.
I
It's
just
like,
made a sandwich out of a can of beans. And
yeah, it's not like Master Chef where it's like home cook situation. It's
Right.
like these are the tough ones. Like these are the big names in the industry,
Sure.
and they're there to like prove themselves. They're not
Mhm.
there to like become something, because
Right.
they don't need that. But I highly recommend it. It's
I'll
so
have to
good.
check it out.
Yes.
Definitely.
I've been meaning to rewatch it. I want to say it's like 4 years old or something like
Okay.
that, but it was so good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and I think like along those lines with celebrity chefs or the like YouTube kind of
Mhm.
chefs, like the show Worth It. I love that.
I don't think I
Where
know.
they go and rank like 3 different restaurants at 3 different price points. And
Oh,
it's awesome.
that's the BuzzFeed show.
BuzzFeed, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I
those
love that
guys
you
are great.
support BuzzFeed. That's great.
I don't really know anything about that. I
It's
just
pretty
watched
dramatic.
that show and
Yeah,
liked
yeah, yeah. Good cast of characters for sure.
Yeah. And then like the Matty Matheson, which he's like
Yes.
the fringe celebrity chef. More
If
entertainment
Gordon
than
is the king, Maddie's like not the
the
prince.
jester.
The jester, 100%. He's the
Yeah.
jester in the court of
The jester of
celebrity.
chefs.
I wouldn't even call him a celebrity, because I feel like that's almost
Yeah.
like diminishing how cool he is. Like
Yeah.
he's not like a cool guy. He's like a fun guy.
Yeah.
And he's Canadian, so that's great.
Right. Yeah. Brings in a little flair there. Makes some cool
Mhm.
recipes local to that region.
What's your favorite Matty Matheson recipe?
Oh, dude, the one where he talks about boiled meat is so funny. Like he's just like, oh, everyone just get the gray goop out of here, and he's just like scooping shit out of the pot and just like
Yeah.
whipping it onto the table. It's hilarious. But the whole boiled dinner, I think,
He's
is
a
the
very
name.
physical. Oops, sorry. He's a very. I'm so excited. He's a very physical actor, or not actor, but personality on camera. Like he's just
all
doing
over
stuff constantly.
Right.
It's great.
Yeah.
Maddie's wonderful. If no one is listening has ever seen Matty Matheson, you can't listen to him. Like you have to see the experience.
Yes,
watch his videos. YouTube videos. Yes, and he's been on Bon Appetit, which we'll talk about later. But he's been on Bon Appetit. So he's a great guy.
Yeah, and he's got a couple cookbooks that are like funny, but also some that are serious. And I think he's got a couple restaurants too.
I have no idea. I don't know too much about him. I just think he's very entertaining.
Yeah, I just like watched all the videos. Like I was just working and just like
all the videos.
I had him in the background. Just let it go for a while. It was pretty fun. And then I think within like the Netflix culture, one that is kind of a different animal is the Meat Eater podcast, or that and the Netflix show.
I have no idea.
They're hunters, gatherers, fishermen that go and do this craft, and they bring it from like, out in the wild, and then they make recipes.
Oh, that's cool.
And share those, and it's kind of like the whole intimate experience of conservation and hunting and bringing that food, wild game, to life in the kitchen. So I love that one. That one's super cool. But yeah, there's a lot going on with internet food culture for sure. You got all the new apps, right? Like DoorDash.
Oh, okay. I was like, please tell me about the apps, because I want to hear that part.
Well, yeah, and then like now what they're doing, you've heard about like the ghost restaurants, right?
No,
not at all.
No idea.
It's like the worst practice you could think of, because food is such like a obsession, or like people would get really defensive over it. But they have ghost restaurants where it's like DoorDash will fill orders, and it's one restaurant that makes all the food from like all the different places. You don't actually go get Popeyes. They just like make you that meal from like their Burger King ingredients, and then they make Burger King like hamburgers. And so it's just, you don't really know where your order's coming from.
Got it. I mean, maybe I'm ignorant. I don't know if that's a thing here.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't think it's
I feel
super
like people here
widespread.
would lose it here. I feel
Yeah.
like they would definitely have something to say about that.
Yeah, that's why I think like people are defensive over it because it's
Mm.
food. It's like and like the monetary value of it. I mean,
Well,
obviously it
yeah.
costs more for delivery and whatnot, but like, you order something
Unless you
that's
have a
authentic.
Dash Pass.
I have one of those. Came
I
with
do
my credit
too.
card.
Exact same. We probably have the same credit card.
Probably.
I also have the Uber Eats Pass.
I don't know that. I've never even used Uber.
Well, I have like the Uber whatever monthly subscription because we talked about how I have a problem. But it like automatically gives me free delivery for Uber Eats too.
Oh.
So I have options. There's a lot of food delivery out here is completely different. We have a lot of options out here. Like it's not just like DoorDash and Uber Eats. It's like there's 18 other apps. And then you can order directly from the restaurant too.
Gotcha.
It's amazing. Need groceries? Get on the app. Need ice cream right now?
Yeah,
at 3 a.m.
I did DoorDash for a while. I'll
You
deliver you food.
You're
just
welcome.
let me know.
To.
Just call
I
me.
would love to watch you deliver my food.
Why?
And then tip you $1.
Ooh. You hurt.
Yeah. Here's $1.
Yeah. One singular dollar.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the deal with people on Instagram? Because I don't know much about Instagram taking pictures of their food.
Mm-hmm. I'm
do
very
you do
guilty of this.
You do that?
Yeah.
I've never done that.
It's not like it used to when Instagram first started. It was a lot of like Starbucks cups, right? Like it's a lot of that stuff.
Okay, like
you don't know
or
no, it was just this thing. I think it was also like the demographic that was using Instagram at the time, but they were just taking photos of like their Starbucks order or whatever. Like it was such a thing to post that you got coffee in the morning. I don't know. Like it still is, but it's more like, oh, I went to this like really cool coffee shop and like you should go there. That's kind of what it's turned more into. It's less of like I'm eating and more of like this is where I'm eating.
Gotcha. So instead of like a status update, it's like there's a reason.
It is a status update.
Like they create content,
but it's
around it.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well, because everybody.
Or it's just like people like because I've seen people go to restaurants, order, wait 30 minutes, and then their food comes out, and like they let it get cold, taking pictures of it, and I just don't understand.
Well, that's the boomer in you talking. They let it get cold, and now it's frozen.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna eat it with a spoon. Yeah, no, it's no, it's still hot. You take a photo in like 4 seconds. Not doing a full photo shoot.
Well, whatever. It looks silly. So I'm just gonna say that I'm not gonna do it. If I ever do it, come after me.
Yeah, so I definitely do it. I definitely share food that I cook too. I mostly do that because on Discord, I'm in Discord with a group of friends that it's like I don't even know it's called Food Accountability. That's what it is. So it's like a group of us who wanted to like be more mindful of what we eat and working out and things like that, and we'll like post our food, and like that has made me really comfortable sharing it with those people. And then also like I'm starting to cook a lot more than I used to. So I like sharing that, if I'm impressed with something that I made, maybe it's not impressive to other people, but like if I really love what I made, like sometimes I'll put it on Instagram. Yeah. And like the other day, I got pastries from this like really awesome place near my house. And I like posted sharing with my followers on Instagram this place, and I was like, oh, this is really good, you should check it out. And it's like more of like a sharing thing because like some people would have no idea that that place existed unless they saw that, right? So
yeah,
but I would say Instagram has kind of like the whole lot. They have like short form cooking videos, which are honestly the worst. Those are the worst. I hate short form cooking videos. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No. What goes into that?
It's like, imagine you're watching a YouTube video of someone talking about a recipe and like making something, but they're doing it in like less than 30 seconds. So like the details.
You know what I think? I think that I've seen that. That's like where they're just like pointing at stuff and it's like being all chopped up, and then they're like whipping it into a bowl. And
those are the worst ones. Those are the biggest offenders.
But they like take an onion and like whip it, and then it's all
that is probably the worst part of what I'm talking about. But there are ones that like talk you through it, but you miss so much of the detail. Like you're like, okay, well, how did you make your tomatoes look like that, you know?
Right.
They're
Yeah,
like,
like, how'd you cut them that way?
chop it. You just chop it. And then they come out and they're like tomato diamonds. And you're like, what the fuck is that? Like, I don't have a cutter that looks like that. And you threw it in the air. Like, yeah.
And they're like,
no.
I used a butter knife. What's wrong with you?
I don't know. Not all of them are like that. There's this one specific girl who I can't remember the name of, who does videos like that, and she makes really amazing, super simple food. So it's not as much of an issue because her stuff isn't complicated. It's just very like rustic and like digestible. Like, no pun intended.
No, that's right up my alley.
Yeah, digestible food.
Yeah, exactly. Ever since the pandemic, like I had a rule. Like it was, I don't know, probably for 6 months I did it, where it was like, it was only like animals,
only 30-second videos.
No,
that you were following.
I was eating only like animals and things that came from the earth. That was it. Like no processed stuff at all. And I was like, pairing it with trying to get a little bit. Is that healthier,
why you're 125 pounds now?
No, I only lost like 25 pounds. So
okay, well, you look like you lost.
I'm like 165. 49. So
that's awesome.
Leave me alone. Yeah.
No, you're fine. I'm complimenting you.
Thanks.
But you look a lot.
It came off like an attack. So
well, I know victims usually feel that way,
right?
For sure.
Exactly. That's me.
But I don't know. Instagram has everything. One really popular thing on Instagram and YouTube is posting like a weekly meal plan, because there's Instagram is super big on like the fitness thing, and then
like
also
food prep.
Yes, like meal prep for the week, which honestly everyone is over. Like no one wants to meal prep, and then you get to like Thursday, Friday, and you're eating the same dry chicken and broccoli, and it's like, this is not fun. Like I've done meal prep just because of a convenience point of view, and I'm not into it. I'm getting better at leftovers. I'm notoriously anti-leftovers because growing up, that's all we ate. Like we always had leftovers. It's like if I was hungry, my mom's like, "There's leftovers," and I'm like, and of course, it's like nothing you ever want to eat too. It's like, I don't want that pork chop from 4 days ago. Like that doesn't sound fun, Mom. So being an adult, I never wanted to have leftovers. I was like, oh, I'll cook every day, and then that wasn't happening. So now I've had the same meal, I would say 4 days in a row, probably 5 times, and I'm super happy. I just had to get better at cooking,
right?
To enjoy it,
make
more.
it. Yeah,
and I was like, oh,
pick it yourself.
Cool.
Yeah,
it's better when I'm eating things that I want to eat. That matters. But anyways, Instagram, it's a lot of different things. It's like, well, it's like marketing too. So it's like a lot of restaurants and bakeries and stuff like that will be on Instagram, and that's all.
And the like, food to your door delivery for you to cook, like HelloFresh and
that stuff too. That's huge on YouTube. That's like HelloFresh, and those other ones are like Blue Apron. All of those love promoting. We'll probably get one of those ads eventually. They love promoting podcasts, and they love promoting YouTube. And so a lot of YouTubers that I watch, they'll at least once in their YouTube career, they'll be like, blah, 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 blah. And today's sponsor, and they're like holding the
the box from
the whatever brand. And they're like, it just saved me so much time, and it's like so convenient, and I just don't even have to think about it. Like I love it. And I'm like, okay, cool. I've actually tried one of those services before. I've tried HelloFresh. And it's pretty great. I thought it was great. I did it for the initial sign up because it was like super cheap for the initial sign up. When you get like you got like $80 off or something for your first 2 weeks, month, something like that.
And then it's like, okay, now give us your wallet.
Well, it's still like, I think it was still like at least $60 to $80 for whatever I bought. But it was super easy. They were
the portions.
I mean,
is it small?
You get to pick like what portions you want from a service like that. This is not sponsored. Like we're not. So
I just
they let you pick from like one person per meal to like a family of 4 or something like that, and then that changes your pricing too, obviously. But you get these like predetermined meals based on like whatever option you chose, like if you're a vegan or a keto or a carnivore or whatever. And then they just like ship it to you, and that company specifically will always have like a free, like this like really wild space age like freezer block to keep everything cold, which is pretty wild. Oh, it was so weird. It was like in this like envelope, and it was very cold, and it tells you like how to recycle everything, but the shit inside is not recyclable. What do you imagine would be inside of that foil package? Just like to keep something
liquid
cold.
nitrogen or
Oh, okay. I'm actually surprised that you said that. So I cut it open, and then I pour it
burnt
into
the shit out of my hand.
and then my whole hand fell off, and it's just absolutely gone.
Exactly. And now here's where we are.
Yeah. That happened yesterday. No, this is a few years ago. But no, I cut it open, and you're supposed to like pour the contents into the trash, and it's like goop. It's like clear goop. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I can't tell you what that is then.
But the food was good. It was great. It was lovely. And then I stopped the service because I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah, I've never even thought about it.
But I mean, if you're super busy or you're super lazy, it's great service.
Yeah,
something like that. Not that specific service, but like any food prep service. There's tons of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of local ones too. There's a lot of people on like Facebook and shit, like Instagram, who will try to promote, but it's like a local. I want to say my sister-in-law did this at one point, or maybe she talked about. No, not my sister-in-law. My last roommate talked about this, how she like wanted to like start like a local like meal thing. Okay, so it's like having a private chef, except you like go and pick it up, or they like deliver it, but it's like one meal or something, which is super common around here, like that sort of service. So it's like one step further than like, oh, we portioned everything out for you.
Yeah,
it's like, oh no, here's just like your meal, but it's like cooked fresh in someone's home.
Right.
I don't know.
So it's not like fast food.
No, exactly.
Like someone else.
So it's like delivery, but it's not fast food, and it's a lot more affordable because it's not a restaurant; it's someone's house. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just thought all of that was born out of like that Seattle Sutton stuff, like the dieting food. Did you hear about that? Like, you know, my dad did that for a while, but no, like, you know, this is the version that's not for people that are dieting.
100%. They just want like a home cooked meal.
Yeah, but now, you know, those ads have plagued everywhere. So
yeah, it's actually everywhere. Like it's insane. The ads for food are insane, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. It's such an like everything is based around food.
I mean, it's such an easy
why do you work
right?
Food, you know?
Yeah,
you can't die. So
yeah, well, that's why so many people start restaurants, like bad restaurants.
Bad
restaurants. Well, I mean, I would say majority of the new restaurants that come out, not new, but like the majority of restaurants that come out, like they're such a money sink. Like watching Kitchen Nightmares helps you realize that.
Kitchen Nightmares.
I
was about to say that. They start a bad restaurant and end up.
This is why Gordon is the king, because he or someone around him invented Kitchen Nightmares and casted him. And I think it's relevant to the internet because that's pretty much exclusively where I watch it. Like I don't watch the show on a TV.
Right.
I watch it on the YouTube channel, the official
the
YouTube
clips,
channel.
Like all of it, just
the clips,
everything.
Sometimes I'm like sitting there having lunch, eating good food, watching garbage food. On YouTube, and Gordon like vomiting on a plate. Like it's great. I love it.
Or like going into the walk-in and just being like, "Oh my god, there's 6-month-old."
The walk-in is
cooked chicken in here or something.
Is honestly always the best part.
Yeah, that is.
Because he's always like, "When was the last time that you cleaned this?" And they're like, "Last week." Yeah. And he's like, "This is 12 months old. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?" And they're like, no. I told the chef to blah blah blah, and the chef's like, "Well, you don't pay me enough to do that."
Yeah.
And then
he's like, "When did you clean it last?" He's like, "I've never even been in there."
No, not once. You don't pay me enough to clean anything, apparently.
Yeah.
And then Gordon just loses it. Right. It's such a good show. I will argue though, it's a completely different feel, but I would argue that the original show from the UK is maybe superior, only because I feel like it shows the one in the US is definitely American trash television. Like that's the style that they were going for, like kind of, you know, honky dory, like like kind of that, and then also like that like quick dramatic TLC music. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. It's like a lot of different things, and it's like all based around drama and then like conflict and resolution. Like that's the whole show. But oftentimes I feel like there isn't a real resolution. It's like there's a resolution for that end of the week that he was there when he like redid the wallpaper or whatever, and they're like, oh my god, it's a whole new restaurant. Like this is crazy.
Like, the sales went up for the next 3 days.
And then he leaves. While he's there and people see Gordon Ramsay, they're like, oh, I have to go to this place to go see Gordon. As if anybody in like middle America knows who Gordon is. But and then he leaves, and then and then they have the recap sometimes, and they're like, oh, it didn't close 6 months later.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know.
And that's nothing against Gordon. That's not his fault. That's not his problem.
Right.
He's just there as a brand ambassador, and he's amazing. Honestly, Gordon cannot do wrong in my eyes. I hope he never gets canceled. Like, I hope he never, says anything inappropriate or does anything inappropriate.
You're a Muppet or something?
No, like, what people do get canceled for, like saying something sexist or racist or homophobic or doing physically anything of that category as well. Like, I just hope he stays as pure as Gordon Ramsay can be.
True.
Because he needs to be conserved. His essence needs to be conserved forever because he's amazing. Just he's like an all around.
Well, now you can take
entertainer
his master class.
I could take his master class. That would be
course
pretty interesting. Mm-hmm.
Probably learn how to cut tomatoes like diamonds.
Oh fuck,
that's what you're missing out.
I only have to spend $249 a month to do it.
That's all.
I'll bill you
for the low cost.
Yeah,
bill me.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I couldn't do the intro. Yeah.
I mean, I'm billing you for a few things. That's for sure.
That's right.
And then his other version of Kitchen Nightmares, which I believe is the original because it takes place a lot earlier in the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, it goes around the entirety of the UK. This is before Hell's Kitchen, MasterChef, and all of that. So he's like going around the UK, and he does the same thing, except typically the restaurants in the UK aren't as gross. And then also it feels like a more warm Gordon. Like, I feel like he's like trying to relate to them. He's trying to help them. He like often, this is the thing about British people that I noticed too. This is a very general consensus, by the way, very limited experience with British people, but my understanding of watching British television and being in the UK a few times is it's just the what am I trying to say? The TV I'm trying to put this into words. The TV, everyone. But reality television, that's what I'm trying to say. Reality television in the UK. I'm also going to relate this to Love Island. I love how limited my scope is into to British television because I am garbage American. But it just has this like family aspect to it. Like, it's just very warm. Like, they're there to like support each other, better each other. Like, that's the vibe I get from Gordon, which is not how it feels in the US. In the US, it feels like it's like a gotcha. Like, that's what it feels like. And then at the end, it's like, oh, but we pulled it together. But in the UK version, the original version, it feels a lot more like an experience and a journey. It's like more of an emotional thing with like the people who own the restaurant. It's like he gives them much more benefit of the doubt. Whereas in the US, I feel like he's instantly like, the owner's a complete fucking idiot, and you should close this down and pay all of your people the rest of your savings.
Why did you put $2.5 million into the shack of a restaurant?
Like, that's a thing. Oh my god, there's this one episode where this guy like will not pay his employees like a decent wage, but they
I think
stay there, and then he buys the RV. You know that one? And he's like, so you're telling me that you bought, what was it, like a $200,000 RV or something like that? And he's like, but you can't pay them. Oh, and he bought the RV so that he could live behind the restaurant.
Yeah.
Which was in a
smart idea.
Hotel?
Could
so he won't even stay in his...
you needed.
Oh, that was Gordon's point. He was like, so you won't even stay in your own hotel. Like, you have to go buy a new RV because you won't even stay in your... Oh, this wasn't Kitchen Nightmares. This was a Hotel Hell. That's what that was. I'm pretty sure.
One of the other things that he does.
Various amazing shows. That one, pretty much all of them shut down.
Yeah.
And it's like, and this place kicked me out, and they closed down 4 months later. Yeah. And got sued by all the employees. But like one of my favorite episodes of Kitchen Nightmares, the original version, was when he met this girl from the UK who was in Paris, and she like tried to start her own bistro or whatever, and she just like was not appealing to the French customer. And then Gordon came in there, and he just has this method that I really love, that I kind of like when I go to restaurants, I kind of feel like more places should do this because it just makes sense. But he goes in and he's like, simplify the menu, you know, put 5 to 7 dishes on there, get really, really good at them, and then people will come. And so when I go to a restaurant and there's like 800 items, I'm like, this is not a good restaurant because they're not doing anything amazing.
Yeah, and all the food is super old because you can't keep all those
ingredients. It's been sitting in vats.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It is that show has made me so much more conscious about going to restaurants. Yeah. Like I know when something's been microwaved at this point.
Yeah, you should just not go to restaurants most times.
No. Unless, honestly, at this point, unless it's like incredibly expensive and I know it is fresh and has good reviews and I have a recommendation, like I probably don't want to go very often.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Well, good thing you got that Discord for making food at home.
Being more accountable. Yeah.
Before we turn this into a Gordon Ramsay fan club.
No. I mean, it is.
What's the deal with Bon Appetit? You said something.
I don't know if we have a whole episode's worth of content or not, but basically you're at least a year behind. But that's not surprising. Yeah. So I at the time was very confused about what was going on. But I kind of had bits and bobs about what was going on. I thought it was just simply down to some people were not happy with how much they were getting paid and that kind of stuff. Because I don't know if did you watch Bon Appetit videos?
I don't. Well, those were like the overhead shot ones.
No. That was a BuzzFeed.
Okay.
That was a BuzzFeed channel. Bon Appetit is a food magazine and website, and they started doing YouTube videos a few years ago. And well, I don't know how long they started doing YouTube, but they started like featuring their editors, and their editors ended up being really, really, really entertaining. And they just noticed they started getting a lot more views, and they had this amazing cast of characters. I'm also speaking from a place of like, I watched these videos pretty religiously, and they would post almost every day, and each day would have like a different editor, and they had like a pretty good team. I think it was like anywhere between like 7 to 10 people that were frequently casted in these videos. And so there are these people that are raking in millions of views on YouTube, which obviously does not equate to millions of dollars, but eventually, I mean, you also have to think about the marketing for the brand. So, you know, sure, Condé Nast has tons of money, but like these videos are exclusively bringing people to the Bon Appetit website. They would plug the magazine in the videos, like all of that stuff, because these editors wrote for the magazine too, right? So they're like, this recipe is in my blah blah blah, you know, March issue of Bon Appetit,
right? And
so at some point the channel got to the height of what it was, like multi-million view videos per, you know, release, depending on who the host was. The most popular show, from my understanding, subjectively, but also I'm pretty sure this is an objective analysis, but Claire Saffitz would do this show called Gourmet Makes, where they would give her some sort of like candy or snack, and she had to make a gourmet version of that. So for example, like a Pop-Tart or a Skittle, and it was so entertaining. A lot of it was entertaining because of how frustrated she would get through the process. Sometimes she would have an easy time, but most of the time she's like, how do you make a Skittle? Like, and you have to like create that with like an oven or something, you know? Yeah. So that channel or that video series was super popular. And then if you kind of look at the views, the hosts that were getting majority high views tended to be the lighter skin cast of the members. Not to say that the hosts that were of color were not getting a lot of views, because they were. They just obviously weren't featured as often.
Gotcha.
I don't know if it's because of the style of show that they had, or maybe people, the wider audience didn't, respond as well. But whatever. But you would notice that it was like a handful of white people that would get hosted more than, or casted for these videos more than their counterparts of color.
Right.
And I don't know how intentional that was or whatever. I don't know anybody's objective behind things. But what was happening was that at some point, there were two editors slash castmates that were having issues negotiating a contract. So basically, I guess they had understood how much the rest of their counterparts were making, and they were making like significantly less than them. Even though they had the same job, they were doing the same amount of work, like all of that kind of stuff. And they were, I mean, at least from a viewer perspective.
Right.
And so I guess they couldn't. Condé Nast, who is a ginormous company. I don't know if you're familiar. Are you familiar with Condé Nast?
No.
They own Vogue. They own a million other magazine companies.
Oh, okay.
So they're kind of the big name in magazines, at least in the US.
Mm-hmm.
But they have a lot of money. Not to say that magazines are super lucrative, because they're not. But ad space is for magazines. Right. But basically, they have plenty of money to do these offers, especially when you hear how much these people are making. So these people who were raking in millions of views and plugging all of the external content as well were making anywhere between like $50,000 to $90,000. $90,000 for the white counterparts, and then like 50, 60 for either the less experienced counterparts or the counterparts of color. So this was pretty big news to a lot of the viewers. And after those two couldn't, agree to a contract with Condé Nast, they left and like announced it to the public, because they were pretty big celebrities in the fandom at this point. Like people knew who they were. And on Instagram, like they all have hundreds of thousands of followers too. Like they're all very, very famous at this point.
Right.
And so they announced why they were leaving. Like they just were not getting paid as much as their cast members or fellow editors. And then slowly, kind of like a handful of these editors are leaving over time. So to give you timeline, this was in 2020. I want to say it started at the end of 2020 or like mid, I don't know, after like the big pandemic thing that we were all focused on was happening. And things started, like people were like, oh, maybe we should open. Like it was during that time when people started getting, like, oh, vaccines are coming soon. That wave. Before everybody started freaking out again. So that's when all of this started happening. And then a few editors, one by one started leaving. And then they were pretty much left without majority of their team that they had. And then I don't remember exactly when this started. I wish I knew a better timeline. I do have an entire website dedicated to the drama of Bon Appetit, but I don't know if it's dated. Okay, hold on. So this started in May. So just kidding about the timeline. This started in May. It says on May 31st, the Bon Appetit Instagram account posted blah, 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 blah. Oh, wait. No. Sorry, I really need to get this straight, because I'm going to be upset if I can't get this understood. No, yeah, May. May is when all of this started. Oh, okay. We have to go even deeper. So basically, when there were a lot of protests for Black Lives Matter, there was a lot of fingers pointed at Bon Appetit. And
it brought a lot of attention.
So Bon Appetit said that it was planning to address racial and political issues in the food world. And they had posted in May of 2020 this post that says food has always been political. And then blah, blah, blah. This is continuing. and then I oh god, hold on. I have to read. This is pretty intense. Oh, okay. So then a few photos of the cast history came out where for instance one cast member is doing brown face in this photo, and
Ooh.
then
Yeah.
then one of the younger ones I guess posted a lot on social media in high school and in college, and they said a lot of like inappropriate things that were
Sure.
either racist or sexist or what have you.
Mhm.
And so this started coming out as well, and then I think shortly after is when the editors, a few of the editors in color were not excited about their pay. They're like,
Right.
"Hey, like why are we getting paid less than our white counterparts? Like that doesn't make sense. We're doing all the same work." And
Yeah.
then they couldn't come to an agreement, and it kind of just spiraled. Like it was like
So channel's dead now, or
No.
oh,
we
okay.
can we can jump to. So this is happening like all of 2020 into the beginning of 2021,
Mm.
and they had oh yeah, the channel's pretty dead comparatively. So let's give you an idea of numbers. Their most popular video has 34 million views. That is
Mm.
not with Claire, but Claire is the has the third most popular video, pastry chef attempts to make gourmet Skittles. That's the one I told you about.
Right.
That has 13 million views. They were averaging with Claire's videos. Holy shit. Claire was averaging about 10 million views per video. And this was
Yeah.
weekly. Like
Yeah.
her one video series weekly was getting 10
It's big.
million.
Yeah.
All of her videos are at the top. And then under that, oh, there's Maddie. Maddie Matheson reviews the internet's most popular food 4 years ago,
All right.
6.3 million. Yeah, he had a pretty big episode. Um, yeah, they're all gourmet makes. And then there's this other guy called Brad who's still with Bon Appetit.
Mm.
He was like the pickle guy. He loved like weird shit. He went
Oh,
catfish fishing. He went
catfishing?
catfishing.
Yeah, you
Oh
stick your
no, but
arm in
it's
a
it's
hole
called
and
something else. It's called noodling.
yeah. Yeah.
Noodling, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, look at me. I'm so butch.
Yeah.
Uh
Look at
Brad,
you go.
Brad and Maddie went noodling in I
Yeah.
think Louisiana. Anyways, it's all Claire. When I'm looking at the most popular videos, it's Brad and Claire, but it's mostly Claire.
Yeah.
And they're both white. And so that's what was performing super well. So take that as you will.
Right.
And there was like Molly. Molly's also super popular, but not as popular as Claire. Claire's series was just huge. Anyways, so they were getting anywhere from like 3 million to 10 million plus
Mm.
on a like weekly basis with each of these videos. Currently, they are averaging. It depends on the video, but the average looks like it's like 400,000
Mm.
right now per video.
Yeah.
And then
Huge.
this whole week, they have barely reached 396 as their high. And then there was one a week ago at 94,000. So just not doing as hot as they used to. Anyways,
Sure.
after they lost this whole cast of characters, they came out with this new cast of characters, and they hired this whole way more diverse cast. So it's
Sure.
like the like handful of white people that stayed, and then there are a few people of color that stayed, and then they hired all of these other people that weren't white in hopes to win back,
Right.
oh, we're not
Correct their
racist,
mistakes.
or we're not,
Right.
we're not doing that at all. And then I'm looking at the videos now, and I wouldn't say all of them. Majority of the videos that they post at this point is of white guys. There's one guy who's a sommelier of color,
Mm.
and his videos are pretty popular. I think that's like probably the saving grace. But then it just goes to show, like,
Right.
it has nothing to do with your team being white that you need to put them on more. Like, clearly people are interested in this guy who's not white, and he's a sommelier, and he's bringing in 2 million views for you.
Yeah.
That being said, they haven't featured one of his videos since 10 months ago. So 4 months ago. I'm a liar. 4 months ago
Don't
was
be a
the
liar.
most recent for the sommelier. But yeah, it's pretty intense. And for them to lose like Molly Baz and Claire Saffitz and
Yeah.
what is her name? anyways, they lost a lot of great people along with Sola. Sola was probably one of my favorite people on the show, and I'm so happy that another channel actually picked her up. So that was the cool thing, is that with a lot of the ones that were like more endearing to the audience, I guess, or just ones that were self-starters, because I'm sure going from BA, where it's like super organized and put together and has all the funding, and then going to on your own, like that, they're like, oh shit, I don't have, their budget and their kitchen and, whatever, their camera crew. But for instance, Sola was she hopped in with Binging with Babish. Do you know who that is? Okay, so this other guy who's incredibly
as everyone
popular.
will know, I don't.
Yeah. I mean, I've just been talking about food for 45 minutes.
That's all right.
But basically, Binging with Babish is another really, really big YouTube channel. And it's this guy in New York who I think he's most well known for recreating recipes from like cartoons and stuff like that. Not cartoons specifically, but like animated series. And so he got really famous for that, and people just really liked his style. And then he started this YouTube universe, and it's like I don't want to butcher the name. I don't want to say it's Babish World, but it's something like that. Let me see what it's called. Sorry, Babish Culinary Universe. And Sola has a show featured on his channel. That actually might be outdated information, but she did have a show on his channel. I don't see it at the moment, but who knows? But they got picked up by other channels or started their own thing or whatever. Like Claire does her own thing now, I think, with the New York Times. And then there's another gal who I'm forgetting the name of, but she was another member of BA who ended up getting picked up, I want to say, by the New York Times as well. But yeah, so good for them. And BA is struggling, and that's what you get.
Yeah, bit of drama in the internet food world.
So much drama. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, but you're
YouTube
there
drama. The YouTube drama is not limited to the makeup community. Let me tell you. Oh, I'm so there for the drama. I love an apology video.
Ooh.
I love a crying video of an apology video. I love a reply to an apology video, and I love when they get petty.
And I'll let you watch all of that and report back, because I'm not gonna watch any of
No, I'm gonna give you homework. Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, speaking on YouTube, people are doing like obviously like food reviews, but what the thing I asked about, you probably know more again.
I have honestly know anything. I don't remember what you asked about. I'm not gonna
lie. Nikki Avocado or
Nikocado Avocado. Yeah, he is infamous in the YouTube community, and it's not limited to I don't even know what community he's a part of. I'm not gonna lie, he's not a part of the food community.
It's just something crazy that has to do with food, right?
Yes, Nikocado Avocado has been around for quite a while on YouTube. He's like, he has ties to Trisha Paytas as well, I believe, because she talks about him on the Frenemies podcast, if I'm not mistaken, which I did religiously watch. So I'm also great reference point for Frenemies. But basically, Nikocado Avocado started a long time ago. I want to say he didn't start with mukbang videos. I'm pretty sure he didn't start with eating, but then he started doing videos with his partner at the time. I'm not sure if they're still together. His partner at the time, he was quite thin. Like, he wasn't, maybe at most 170, 180 pounds, just visually. Not that matters, but just like visually, he looked like a fairly, average. Whatever average is for everyone else. Sure. But, he didn't look big at all. Now he is a lot bigger. And you could just see this like slow progression in size, but also this slow regression in mental
people
health.
That don't know, the mukbang is like, what is that?
So mukbangs started, it's a trend that started in Korea, because streaming in Korea was a lot more popular before it was in the United States. So, and that's where the idea for the just chatting streams kind of came from too, because that was a lot of Korean streaming. It wasn't really video game centric. It became popular as like a social thing. And so people were just like chatting on their streams or whatever. And then it kind of turned into people eating on their streams or like going to restaurants on their streams or whatever. So then it became at one point a lot of people. There was this one girl who I absolutely don't remember the name of, but there was this one girl in Korea that was like especially popular this was years ago. I want to say like at least 7 years ago, who was incredibly popular because she just sat there and ate tons of food, and just ate, and people loved it. Like people loved just watching someone eat, and it became this thing where people wanted to watch people eat while they were eating, so that they felt like someone was with them. And I feel like if you're super lonely and you like sitting down and having dinner with someone, I guess I can understand. I don't know. I guess I watch YouTube videos of people talking while I eat, so whatever.
Yeah.
It's just I don't want to watch someone eat.
Yeah, someone buys like a huge plate of food and just eats it while you watch. I think that's weird.
Yeah. And I don't want there to be like any
to be on the podcast.
I don't know. I don't know if I want the idea of anyone having this connection to me eating while I'm watching them.
Yeah.
Because if we're both eating, then I kind of feel like you do know that I'm there, even though you don't. But like if I'm watching,
but it's like
a podcast on YouTube,
and they're like planning these like crazy things. They're like,
oh, no, it's a live stream.
58 burritos. Oh, it is.
But that was a live stream.
Oh.
But then mukbangs ended up in the YouTube universe, and now kind of everybody does them. And there's more casual versions, but there's also less casual versions called ASMR mukbangs.
Ooh.
And I know you know what ASMR is. We've gone down this journey.
Your Twitch history.
Not just my Twitch history. Thank God I don't get this shit directed at me on YouTube anymore. But basically, there are some wild videos where people are eating raw squid heads.
Yeah. You ever done that?
Right? No. Have you?
I think
raw squid head,
like an octopus, like a baby octopus.
Sorry, an octopus. The whole thing?
Yeah, you just eat all of it. They like soak it in soy sauce. Takes a little while, and then you just.
Okay, well, this fucking thing was huge.
Yeah,
and I saw this small human like
just take a bite, like it was a burger or something.
It was so bad. It was so bad. Yeah. It was one of the more uncomfortable things I've seen on YouTube, and I was like, "Is this okay?
Yeah,
like, is this allowed?"
No content.
I feel like
warning.
no. That definitely should have like an 18+ warning for me,
or just like a
Hey, this might be.
This is weird.
Yeah, you might not be into this.
If you don't want to see someone take a bite out of a squid,
I guess someone call that a trigger warning, whatever. Anyways, mukbangs are huge, so that's kind of Nikocado Avocado's thing, but he like takes it to the extreme, and his video titles are insane at this point. Like, it's absolutely extreme. I know a lot of my friends who are going to be listening to this podcast probably aren't as versed in like the YouTube universe as I am. I've been watching YouTubers rise and fall for like many years, like from when I was in high school, maybe even before that. And
and I watch YouTube to figure out how to do things that I can't do.
Well, I do that too. I live my life on YouTube. YouTube is amazing. I watch content on YouTube. I watch drama on YouTube. I have learned how to do makeup on YouTube, and I don't do makeup. I know way too much about wigs because of YouTube. I know how to build things that I probably will not ever need to build because of YouTube. I watched someone build an entire like dome home in the middle.
Dome home?
a dome home in the middle of a forest, and they had like no plumbing or anything, and I watched them do that. I don't know where I was going with this, but
so
YouTube's wild.
It's just a weird thing.
But even the food area has drama. It's insane.
That's
like
true.
Even food YouTubers are fighting.
Well, yeah, I mean that's part of just food being on the internet, because it interfaces with people who are just dramatic. I mean, just by nature. And again,
are you saying all chefs are dramatic?
No, I'm just saying that with food, people are passionate about it. They'll defend it, and again, it probably because it has to do with money. You need all the supplies, and it's
So why has there never been like a real life food battle royale? like where people like fight each other
and then they get killed.
Not, yeah.
Yeah, why would they do that? Well, remember we did play Cuisine Royale.
We did play Cuisine Royale, which no longer exists, by the way.
Yeah, true. It turned into that game was good.
Now.
You could just
that game was so good. The pans swinging
just
behind
wear them
you
on your head and
just a pot. Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
But yeah, no, I mean, I can't really think of anything else that has been food related that I've seen lately. But I'm sure there's going to be some new trends that come out. You know,
what baby food do you have right now?
I don't have
on
any
you
baby food
in your pockets.
On me in my pockets? None. None. Babies don't eat food for a while.
I know babies don't, but
so
you made it sound like you guys were buying so much food. We should eat baby food on the pod.
Ooh, that'd be weird.
Give it a test.
That's strange.
Okay, so one could argue that I eat baby food. This sounds awful and weird, but let me explain. There's these like
you should stop if you need to say that. But go on.
No, I think it's for adults, but basically, you know those like applesauce packets?
Oh yeah.
And they have like straws on them, kind of. They're like Capri Suns, but applesauce. I love those. I love those so much.
I was just introduced to those.
I've been
though they're
smashing those. Yeah, it's like
there's not
strawberry applesauce.
Yeah.
Or like banana applesauce. But they're good.
There's one that's
I don't really ever taste,
and it's awful. I don't even know. It's like every fruit
like
you could think of. Yeah.
It's always carrots.
Right. And then just like carrots or
peas.
We put a potato in this.
It's like chunky and raw.
Yeah. But it's applesauce, you know. So
but it's applesauce, guys.
And there's a straw.
I think I'm slowly degrading into like maybe a baby or something because I've been eating beef stew every day for the last few days. And I bought a jar of applesauce the other day, and I just
you can't get away from the pureed liquefied food.
I guess not. Oh, so my point about the applesauce, I have been obsessed with those packets, but I've been buying them at like Starbucks or whatever because I'm like, oh, I'm hungry, but I don't want. Yeah, they have them at Starbucks.
What are they, like $8 or something?
No, like $3.
Oh my god!
Still incredibly expensive. Yeah. But I'm like, oh, I don't have
of applesauce for $3.
I don't have time to have like a a breakfast sandwich or whatever. So I'm like, I'm gonna smash.
You can buy those
applesauce
online, probably.
Yes. So I was at the store the other day. I went to the grocery and I saw them in the baby food aisle. And I saw just like packets of applesauce, and I was like, okay, if I grab these, no one's gonna think I have a child. First of all, instantly, everyone's gonna think I am baby. They're like, you're the baby.
At Starbucks thinking when they rang up your order,
you are baby.
Yeah, right. Like you didn't think back a little more.
No, I didn't give a no because at the grocery, I was gonna buy like 20 of them.
Yeah, no, they won't look at you weird.
No, 100%. But I do self checkout though, so very few times I can be looked at weird because I don't human interaction and all that. Yeah. I go to my Safeway really, really often. They're like
self checkout's the way, just for everyone.
Well, because could you imagine seeing the same like 3 cashiers?
Yeah, every day when you're buying 20 applesauces. Yeah.
Yeah.
Addiction. Yeah, the food addiction.
I think I go to Safeway like honestly like 4 times a week. It's pretty bad, but I don't buy a lot of stuff.
I mean, you just walk, right?
It's 5 minutes.
Yeah,
it's amazing. My whole life has changed since I moved.
Get a little exercise. I think it's good.
Yeah,
I think it's good.
Well, I'd rather do that than have a shitload of leftovers.
Right,
it's awful.
That's true.
But okay, so back to the applesauce. I'm not done. So I walked into the applesauce, and I've been enjoying those, and I was gonna buy them, but I was like, I'm gonna get weird looks. But then I started looking at the other baby food in packets, which progressed into me looking at baby food in jars. And I was like, I wonder what these taste like as an adult. Like, I really do wonder, because this is a very convenient way to eat food.
I'll have to ask my wife. She likes it.
Baby food?
Yeah, like, I don't know. She, has tried it before.
So, well, there's a difference from trying it than like
she doesn't
actively eating a Gerber's pot of carrots.
But I'm pretty sure she's like recently tried it.
But my garbage ass almost bought baby food and was like, I think this is gonna be my
this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
This is gonna be where my life is going, is just eating baby food. Could you imagine someone meets me, you know, for a date or whatever, and they're like, do you want to go to a restaurant? I'm like, no, I have food at home.
Yeah.
And then we're like and then they find out that all I eat is baby food.
That just red flags run.
Yeah, that's honestly probably about what's gonna happen to my life. It's gonna be something weird like that they find out, and then they're gonna be like, you're fucking weird. I don't want any part of this.
Oh well.
But I can say I'm not currently eating baby food, so that's good. I haven't since I was a baby.
I'm glad
you're definitely going to. The world.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm glad everybody knows.
I'll
well, you're gonna have to because
whatever.
They're not gonna eat it
Months
unless
from now,
you eat it.
Episode 94 or something. I'll let you know how baby food tastes. So.
You're just gonna have it on you while you're filming,
right?
And be like, is that
get in real
pureed peas?
That's right.
You're like, oh yeah.
How'd you know?
I would know. I know what that looks like.
All right. Well, anything
else?
Is
that it for you?
Yeah,
you're done.
That's me on food. I don't know, and the internet. I mean,
you're done with the internet.
I'm done.
That's it. Just
until next week.
Just deleting the internet from your computer.
Deleting the internet.
Okay, well, you can do the outro since I did the intro.
All right, guys. Well, that was our episode on food and the strange internet. We talked about a couple strange things, and I'm sure more will come up in the future. But I am Patrick.
And I'm Rob. And check us out on Instagram at The Strange Pod. We are posting, highlights for each episode. We're posting an announcement for each episode. More content to come, but it's a great way to keep in check with us if you don't follow the podcast on your respective podcast streaming service. But we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good week.